Am I scary? In that situation, mildly so. Yes. Look, to a lone woman at night in a quiet area, a man is a potential threat. Any man. It's nothing personal. We know it's not all men. But the problem is we don't know which men. There's not a whole lot you can do tbh. Hang back. Maybe stop to tie your shoe or something. Cross to the other side of the road if it's possible, safe to do so, to give her a bit of space. Don't come up close behind her. Don't attempt to interact. Firstly, thank you for recognizing that it can be scary walking alone as a woman after dark. So many just think we're being paranoid or ridiculous, and as some other commenters have said, it's our own trauma. I would very much like these people to have walked after dark as a female and had strange men approach them. Unfortunately, there isn't a lot you can do in this instance to make her more comfortable. However, there are a few tips I have. Be mindful of not closing the distance between the two of you. Slow your pace a little so she feels safer that the gap is widening rather than narrowing. Doesn't hurt to either actually ring your so or pretend to saying loudly, "Hi honey. Yep. Just on my way to the car now. Be there in a tick," kind of thing. Most women are going to react that way to any man walking behind them at night. It's likely not anything to do with how you look or what you're doing. How do you know this person was uncomfortable? Presumption or observed actions? First things first. This isn't you. This is a commentary on society. Speaking very broadly and in gender binaries. Women who are by themselves are terrified of men. It's a safety thing. I've been harassed and targeted by men. Forced to have conversations I did not want to have but was terrified to not have in fear of my safety. We recognize that not all men are threats. However, when you just don't know, it's always better to be safe than sorry in this case. There isn't much that you could do, or even be expected to do. Maybe if you realized that you were making her uncomfortable, you could stop and tie your shoe, check your phone, or just slow your pace down to show that you aren't following her. I have a very small walk to my car from my office near a major transit line. But I'm still worried about being attacked or potential threats. And this is me saying this as a 6'10" plus-sized woman. I can't imagine how much worse it would be if I was like stunningly beautiful. Every woman you know has been harassed by a man. You should know that it's not fair to men and mask folks who do have the right intentions to be regarded as a threat. I personally recognize that. However, myself and the rest of womankind have to be vigilant about our safety. Until toxic masculinity is done and over with, it's likely to stay this way. It's nothing personal. As a woman walking alone at night, you're always on guard for the biggest threat to your safety. If you really wanted, you could cross the road. Nothing. You aren't responsible for the reactions of others. Just don't make it worse. Just go to your car. If it made sense to cross the street to put some extra space between the two of you, you could do that as a courtesy. Alternately, you can run up to her and yell, "Don't be afraid, I just need to use this," and flash your keys at her. I've left my local park because I ended up catching to some women walking. As they became uncomfortable, so did I. Most of us men aren't killers, rapists. But they can't tell which is which. The night my daughter was born, I had to drive an hour to the hospital from work. It was snowing that November. I'm 6 feet 280 pounds and was wearing a rather large, puffy winter coat. Well, I pulled into the parking lot and was walking at a pretty good pace when the nurse inside at the front desk noticed me. She kinda stiffens up, looks to her left, and calls out a security guard. I entered the building and said, "My wife is having a baby." They both visibly sagged with relief. It wasn't until after my daughter was born and I spoke with the intake nurse did I find out they were ready for a fight when they saw me marching across the parking lot. My daughter will be the 18th of November 23rd. Not sure if this is right, but if I found myself in this situation, I would stop and pull up my phone for a minute or pretend to tie my shoes and let her walk ahead about 3,040 more meters. Then call my wife and make small talk. As a 25-year-old woman, it's the situation that's scary, not really you. I've found myself in similar situations multiple times. Whether I'm taking the trash out late at night because I forgot tomorrow is trash day, or stepping outside for a late-night phone call from a family member, I am immediately aware of the increased danger, whether real or perceived, due to being 5 feet 3 and young, by myself and after dark. It doesn't matter who you are. I am going to be cautious, checking my surroundings, moving to the other side of the street, grabbing my keys, whatever it takes to make me feel a bit more secure. It's better for a woman to be a little extra cautious all the time than to risk my guard being down. The one time that unassuming man or parked car with its engine still going is a danger. I was once walking late at night on the street. I was a small young woman and I suddenly heard footsteps coming at me really fast. I moved my body closer to the side of the street where the cars were in case I had to run. And as he was running towards me, he saw me and yelled really, really loud, "I'm not trying to hurt you, I'm just really late." I thought it was one of the nicest things that anybody ever did in my life. Nothing. A lot of women's rape radar is always on. It's something a lot of men don't know or think about. If it's nighttime, cross the street and walk on the other side so it doesn't look like you're following her. It will only cost you 2 minutes of travel time and will be a big relief to her. If you can do that, thank you. We appreciate your concern for our comfort. Nothing. So long as you are minding your own business, not staring at her, and don't try to catch up to her, then there's no reason why you can't walk on a street. I suppose you can fake a phone call and say, "Yeah, I just left something in my car. I'll be back in a few minutes." Opposite side of road. Maybe let her walk a comfortable distance ahead. You could get on your phone and have a casual conversation with a friend. That may set her at ease that you aren't focusing on her maybe. Turn on your phone and turn on the sound to start playing Pokemon. I'm a guy. I know I have the right to exist and walk along the same streets and occupy the same spaces as women who are by themselves. The thing is, I know how certain men act towards women in public. I've seen it with my own eyes. I've heard stories from almost every woman I've known about how they've been harassed by men. Or worse. Knowing these things, I can't help but put myself in the position of women who are alone in public and might see me as a threat. It's no skin off my back to cross the street or hang back and look at my phone for a bit of it. Makes a woman by herself more comfortable. I'm not some white knight, I'm just a person with a little empathy for my fellow humans. People are so concerned these days with, "I shouldn't have to," or "I should be able to," and don't seem to realize that a little inconvenience to make a stranger more comfortable or less scared is not some huge encroachment on their rights. It's just human decency. In this situation I would say yes, you were scary. What do we men do about it? Many women are fearful of being attacked, especially at night. Why? Because they are, and at much greater frequency than men. Women fear rape because it happens often. The compassionate thing to do would be to cross the street and to continue on your way.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. TooAfraidToAsk is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.